15th of December 22. It's Thursday and I'm talking about the Scottish budget, which was done today by Mr. Swinney, John Swinney, because Kate Forbes, the budget person, she's on maternity leave. And it's not really something that greatly interests me because the only thing I vote on is immigration and the new multicultural experiment, mostly happening in the West, that was unasked for, and it's the first time it's been tried in humanity. That's the only things I really vote on, but I'll take a look at this anyway, the Scottish budget, and yeah, I mean, budget-wise I would say I'm sort of tax the rich, not in this just sleazy way, I mean in the way, I think a good Twitter account to follow is Patriotic Millionaires, because they're letting the cat out of the bag. We've never really had anyone rich who tells us it like it is. I mean, if you've got more money than you know what to do with, it's a sad situation for society, you know, like if you take Elon Musk, I'm guessing most of his money does nothing, you know, it's just parked. Bill Gates and all this. I mean, people say, look at Bill Gates as a hero, but I mean, he's acting as God because he's got just unlimited amounts of money. He doesn't know what to do with it. All the good he's doing, he wants to do. He wants to pick and choose what he's doing. I mean, I prefer, that's why we elect governments. We let them to make the decisions. And I just find I can't really think of any heroes or rich heroes. Well, apart from the Patriotic Millionaires, they're very good people. They've only been around the last 1 or 2 years from what I've seen on Twitter. I think Abigail Disney is one of the, well, she's an American sort of speaking the right way about it, you know. So it's good to follow Patriotic Millionaires on Twitter. So looking at this, because we're always told by the rich people that if you tax them more, they'll move. I mean, I don't see that many rich people moving to Singapore and China and the likes. I think the countries they want to live in are probably mostly the West, and that's because of the societies and the workers and consumers and just everything really. They can trust the law. But anyway, on to the budget today. Yeah, I mean, it's apparently SNP promised they wouldn't change the tax thing with this over the next 5-year term that they get elected in 21. I don't know much about it, but anyway, they have changed it, and personally I think you should change it to suit circumstances, you know. In tough times, the rich should be trying to help us. I mean, if you look at it, over the last 2 or 3 years, Elon Musk made more over the COVID pandemic, whereas the countries ourselves are suffering, you know, we've got massive debts. I mean, if they had a billionaires fund, you know, where they could bail governments out in hard times like 2008 and 2020, you know, and now even, you know, I mean, the likes of Elon Musk and Bill Gates and that have got more money than many of the countries around the world, probably the bottom half, and so yeah, so tax the rich and all that in a sensible way. Let's see now. So apparently they're going to up the highest rate of tax from 46 pence to 47 pence. So that's 46% to 47%. Yeah, that's fine with me. You hear stories about the Rod Stewart and that saying that in the 70s they were taxed 90% and all that, 95%. I really would like someone to really explain that, because it sounds like one of those myths to me. And I was very sad that George Harrison, his first real big song was Taxman, where he was bitter about how much tax he was paying. You know, he was probably getting his first, it was around about 1965, I think, he was probably getting his first big amounts of money, and he really seemed to resent paying tax, even though he's probably still living in luxury. It is ironic, George was always going on about peace and thingway and all that. That his first big song, he was going on about being bitter about the tax he was paying. It is ironic because he was always going on about, Hare Krishna and all that, and yet he seemed to be having affairs all the time with women, he seemed to be unstoppable. That's even though he was getting married young. Seemed like one of these guys that constantly had to be sort of, I forget it anyway, I don't know. Anyway, on here. So, the tax threshold for a top rate will be lowered from 150,000 to 125,000. Yeah, that's fine with me, really, it depends what level of richness you're talking about. At that level, to me, they've got more money than they'll know what to do, really. And you can say, no, that's not true. But they might have a mansion, or they might have just stuck to the upper class in the council area. All these sort of things, but they probably do. They won't have a mansion like George Barlow or Gary Barlow, but it's paying for the society that you want, or the country you want, And most of these people probably get rich on consumers or the public, That's probably how they got there in the first place. You need a public with money. If the public don't have money, they're not going to buy your stuff. So let me see. Even the likes of Poundland, where they've got a tiny margin, the bosses still seem to live in total luxury, Okay, let's see what else. Yeah, so that brings more people into the highest rate, I'll call it, highest rate tax bracket, 125k. Apparently, there are only about 33,000 people in Scotland in that bracket. I'm using the BBC here. I don't usually use the BBC News, but they were talking about there was a leak to the BBC's. I checked the National and I couldn't really find anything yet, much. I don't find the BBC reliable. I don't find most mainstream media. I would prefer Guido Fawkes to if they're approaching this, but they're on their Christmas party today, it seems. So let me see. I think there's only about 33k people on the highest rate. Apparently we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 income level bands. And they call that the top rate in this chart. That's a better name for it rather than calling it. Yeah, that's as they're talking about that. Top rate is the best name for it, because we've got another one, a higher rate, which is between 43k and 125k. I think I saw 500,000 in that group band. Because remember, that top rate includes things like council leaders. Not the elected council leaders, the civic council leaders, the CEOs of councils. I think a lot of these sort of new officers in councils will be around 80k and that, so they'll be in the higher rate. And these are all taxpayer. Public sector is taxpayer, A psychiatrist that's earning 100k, that's taxpayer. They're probably doing private work as well, that sort of thing, And then let's see, we've got the intermediate rate is from 25k to 43k. The Scottish basic rate is 14k to 25k, and that's 20% at the moment. And they're not changing the lower ones. I don't think they're changing intermediate either. The starter rate is 19%. That's 12k to 14k, say. And the personal allowance, everybody makes 12.5k, no income tax on it at all. So that's what I think we should be aiming for, to take the lower people out of income tax completely, which they're trying to do, you know. I think it was first the Lib Dems that tried that in 2010. I'd already thought of it myself, you know, like try and get the lower people out of it altogether. The Lib Dems brought it in when they came in with the Conservatives. But then in the next election, nobody gave Lib Dems credit for that, probably. So, not that I want to give them any credit. Well, credit for that, but not to get back in government or whatever. So, personal allowance. So they've increased the top rate and the higher rate. Higher rate's now 42%. I mean, they're only going up 1%, aren't they, I think? 1%. The higher rates remaining frozen at 43k, and that's lower than in the rest of the UK, which is 50k apparently. So that's the second highest rate. The higher rate, there they go. They say 500,000 people are in the higher rate bracket, while 33k are in the top rate bracket. So they keep using different terminology here. It's confusing me, you know. Top, higher, what? Yeah. I really do hope this is informative to you and helpful. But what else? They're going to let councils set their own rates, which to me is, yeah. I mean, I know that councils are really skint, really, because they've not been allowed to raise their rates by very much. And probably the services we need don't match what we're paying for them, really. So, yeah, up in Scotland, the SNP introduced the child payment, the Scottish child payment last year. I think it was £10 per child, it was it last year. Then they upped it to 20 in April. Then they upped it to 25 in November, I think. So £25 per child you get. And that's not, you also get your child benefit as well, so 25. I guess that means rich people as well, rich people's children. So like if you get 2 or 3 kids, I mean 2 kids £50, 3 kids £75. I'm in two minds with that actually, because I don't know. I just personally, I think the most important thing is to look at the lifestyle and budget of the people, you know, who are at the poor side. No one poor should have Sky or even Premier Football. They should not be smoking at all. I mean, what's smoking? £20 for 20 cigarettes a day or whatever. All these things, you shouldn't have any cable TV or anything because it's just unaffordable, you know. These are luxuries really, but now they're luxuries that people see as necessities. They should definitely have the internet and that sort of thing, but I think everyone's got a right to that, but you know, you don't have a right to watch all English Premier League matches and stuff. If someone's got that, they're not really poor, in my opinion. They're choosing a way to live or whatever. So I think actually looking at people's budgets in a nice way, you know, in a way that they'll cooperate, not in a bad way, but rather than, I mean, I do agree with universal basic income, you know, I don't know, maybe £50 a week or something, I don't know. Not something that you can make a lifestyle you want to live on, but something for as a sort of fallback for everyone, you know, just, yeah, that sort of thing. So I'm in two minds about the Scottish child payment. I could go either way with that. And they're going to, Scottish Government, benefits under the control of Scottish Government will be increased by the rate of inflation in September of 10.1%. What else are they saying here? Let me see. Okay, I admit that I'm just waffling here. So, I think that's it really. I think that's been very... I mean, I believe in hidden taxes, like luxury tax. I believe in trying to wring the rich as much as you can, because say that 50% of, say, 10 million a year, if they were earning that, they've still got 5 million left, and it's just, if you look at their lifestyle, you'll see tons of waste. I mean, apparently many families waste about £30 a week on their groceries that they throw out, or a third, or whatever. So, yeah, that's all I've really got to say, I think. I do hope that's been very informative.